What's wrong with you people?
Welcome to Not Another Baptist Podcast, and for ministry training that prioritizes both the Great Commandment and the Great Commission, we encourage you to consider Southwestern Baptist Theological Seminary. Southwestern Seminary equips students in living their calling, seeking to glorify God through Christ-centered education that encourages academic excellence and faithful ministry preparation. They are grace-filled, unless you are taking Matt Queen and he has his red pen out. Christ-centered, scripturally grounded, confessionally guided, student-focused, and globally engaged. Learn more at Southwestern Seminary's recently affirmed core values at swbts.edu/core values. Kyle, I did not think this would be the case, but it is June and your Rangers are still in first place. Congratulations.
Not only that, they are having their best season ever. They have their best record ever at this point in the season.
Can we be honest real quick? That is a low bar that even you can get.
That's true. It is not. There has not been the Rangers' history is not stellar overall. However, but that means right now they have a better record than they did even in 2010, 2011. And then the early, kind of teens, they won the division several times. So, but here we are, June 1st. They are still in first place through the first third of the season. They are in first place by, I believe, 3 or 4 games, depending on what the Astros did last night. I did not see. I'm
lost.
sure you are aware. All right, so they have a 3-game lead right now, and the Rangers lost yesterday as well. So 35-20, and I am just as content as can be at this point, because nobody thought this is where the Rangers would be at this point.
No. And here's my question for you. How many wins do you think you are going to finish the season with?
So they're on pace for something like 105. I don't see that happening. I'm going to say they're going to finish at, let's go with 95 wins.
Okay.
95. I think that's reasonable.
Okay.
Is that enough to win the division? I don't know. We'll see.
I don't know. We're about to go to a 6-man rotation, baby, which is amazing because like 5 of them are minor league pitchers, but whatever. Hey, Kyle, it's good to see you. And in a few weeks, I'm going to get to see you in person
in about 10 days. It's
SBC
not a few weeks.
Annual meeting. Fun fact: I will be driving halfway to New Mexico on Saturday, the day before, and then turning around on Sunday and driving to New Orleans. And
you're driving?
I am as excited about that as the Astros being in second place. And but anyway, am excited to see you. Am excited to be wearing my Air Force Ones that came in the mail from a friend of
got that AMS money, baby.
Hey, baby, it was not paid by me, but Hayden Ratner sent me and Art some Air Force Ones, personalized Air Force Ones, and Hayden is the pastor of Walk Church in Las Vegas, and so I don't know if he listens to this or not, but I would love for him to. And this is my official for all of our tens of listeners. My thank you. You didn't get any.
Well, do you think that Bart will wear his Air Force Ones with his suit?
No, I do not.
Oh.
I don't. I think there could be some things that could occur that could make that possible, but no, I really doubt it. But I think he actually made the comment to Hayden that he can't wait to wear these on the farm and get cow poop all over. So I've never owned a pair or worn a pair. I've got a pair of white Nikes that I wear with my slim fit jeans, thanks to Cameron Crowe, who gave me some fashion tips. And anyway, for me, those look like skinny jeans. Let's be honest. But anyway, I do have those that are fairly comfortable. My girls give me a hard time because they've been creased, and apparently that's a thing. I don't something with the toe. There are things that you can buy on Amazon to like crease protect your shoes. But anyway, these I put on and they're actually incredibly comfortable. They added about 2 inches of height for me. So I'm just telling you, use your NAM money to maybe buy you a pair of Air Force Ones, or maybe there's like Air Force Twos that are like 4 inches of height. Whatever would help you. Kyle, good to see you. What are we talking about today?
Well, as we mentioned, we are just a little over a week away from the annual meeting. Everybody will be arriving in New Orleans. I come in next Saturday. I think you said you're driving in next Sunday, and then of course everything kicks off Sunday night with Pastors Conference. So we're just going to talk about some things that we are really looking forward to with the annual meeting. This will be, I believe, it's my seventh annual meeting. If I'm counting right, sixth or seventh. So I'm not a seasoned veteran yet, but I'm getting there. I've been to a few, and it's always a great time. So we're going to talk about some things that we're really looking forward to about the annual meeting and specifically New Orleans as well.
And here's what I love about the annual meeting is, we've called it a business meeting on steroids. We've called it a massive family reunion.
It's true.
Just like every family, there's usually a few nuts, in the bunch. And so we know that. But one of the things that I really love about it is it's kind of like that icing on the cake, because churches attempt to do many wonderful things in their local community. Many churches, even when I pastored Mayhill, and I believe we still do, supported a church plant in New Mexico, and also some missionaries, kind of really across the globe, Africa, Mexico, China, all over the place. And so there were things we were doing locally and globally as one church. Right, the here, there, everywhere type of thing. And we also gave through the cooperative program so that we could do that stuff with churches like yours at First Alamogordo and churches all across the Southern Baptist Convention to do the same things. Right, when we give through our cooperative program, we fund things that the state will do through, local efforts, state efforts, and national efforts. And then, of course, the national entities that we have are 6 seminaries that, we have: Southeastern out of Wake Forest, Southwestern, sponsors of the pod, and we're grateful for our partnership with them. They're in Fort Worth, Midwestern, New Orleans, Southern, Gateway, right? All of these wonderful seminaries. We also have the North American Mission Board, International Mission Board. And so there's things that churches do every single day of the year. Every time that a tithe check comes in, everything that they're trying to do in their backyards, all of that kind of stuff that each of us individually are doing and corporately doing as churches, then we are linking arms with all of these pastors, all of these churches all over the country. And then we get together and really, yes, there's votes. Yes, there's going to be some contentious moments. We have some things that we dig into more on the Potluck podcast about, some disfellowshipping of churches that are going to be appealed, and, different amendments that are being made, and all of that kind of stuff happens. The question and answer time, when some people stand up and wax eloquently about how much they love somebody and then don't share a question, all of that kind of stuff. But that's really like the kind of the sides to the main dish. And the main dish is what we are doing there collectively, cooperatively, as a family of churches that are trying to spread the gospel here, there, and everywhere. And so recently on the podcast of the Potluck folks, we had Bart Barber on, and we were talking about how our church, First Farmersville, affectionately called Hogwarts, does some stuff locally, right? We've got a food pantry and a clothes closet that we kind of lead a group of 4 or 5 churches that participate in that. We've got members that volunteer at it and kind of fund it largely ourselves. We also have a church plant that we are helping in Oklahoma and some missions efforts. And Senegal, Africa, and also Puerto Rico. And we do that through the International Mission Board as well. And then give through the cooperative program at 10%. That's like the set amount. It came out in Bart's presidential nomination that is like 10.67, but that's really just where the ACP fell at a given moment. But it's just a set 10% that comes out. And then they give 1% through our local association. And so I'm obviously very grateful for that. And so it's really a model of that. So Kyle, let's talk about first, what do churches do? Just share some of the things that you've seen churches are doing locally to advance the kingdom.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned some of the stuff that you're doing. Our church here, Highland Baptist, one of our big ministries is a baby closet that we host on our site.
You have babies in a closet? Like you come and pick up baby, like come get a baby from the closet.
Negative. That we have baby clothes, diapers, those kind of things that are available. And then we host 2 church plants on our campus as well. So on any given Sunday morning, we have kind of Highland Baptist that meets, and then there's Grace Church, which is a kind of Hispanic bilingual congregation, and then we have a Congolese congregation that meets on our property as well. And so those are kind of things that we do. I mean, you talk about what you see churches doing. I mean, obviously, churches will have service projects around their communities. Vacation Bible schools are coming up right in the next few weeks or so, and I mean that's a huge ministry opportunity to children and families in your neighborhood. I mean, all kinds of things. Even our disaster relief, which is kind of a national thing, hits local areas that have been affected by natural disasters or something else that's happened in a I mean, it's tragic, but anytime you have to have a disaster relief crew come in, but there's an impact that happens in local communities through that.
Yeah. What about there? So, maybe some church plants. What are some things that you're hearing? I mean, we've talked about it. The obvious one would be maybe disaster relief and church plants. What are some things that you've heard of churches doing or y'all are doing for their side of advancing the kingdom?
Yeah, I mean, we have partnerships with Texas Baptists and I mean, stuff all across the state that we're able to support through the Texas Baptist Cooperative Program, through Mary Hill Davis offering on that side of things. And then we actually have a student from our church right now who is serving in, I believe, Houston over the summer with I Go Global. And which is funny, I Go Global, but he's serving in Houston because they do stuff stateside as well. And he's serving in that capacity. And then we just have various folks who are working in projects. I don't think we have a set partnership person. Our church, we have some overseas partnership. We don't have a set partnership as far as I know with a church plant other than the 2 that meet in our building. But we have various folks that are involved in some stuff across the state.
Awesome. And now globally, here, there, and everywhere.
Yeah, everywhere. So as we're recording this, Thursday, June 1st, our pastor is leading a team of 7 or 8 folks from our church and a total team of 26, and they are on their way to Peru as we speak to go and serve. It's a long-term partnership that our church has had down there. And last year, they had some travel issues with American, and then they ended up spending more time trying to get to Peru than they actually spent on the ground in Peru ministering. It was a whole mess. So we've really been praying for traveling mercies this time around. But yeah, I mean that's a big partnership that our church has had.
All right, and so what's really cool then is all of that is happening 363 days a year, and in really 365. But for 2, people will come together, pastors and leaders from local churches, wherever it's meeting. This year, of course, in the New Orleans. I'll never remember the name. I'm not even going to try. the convention center in New Orleans, and led this year by Bart Barber, and who will be nominated again for a second term, Lord willing. And so he will get to kind of gavel it in and lead us through this time of celebration. Before we talk about maybe what we're excited to see during that, want to just, if you've got 10 days, I think, by the time this goes live, maybe 9, you can call a special called meeting at your church and make it happen, or just come as a guest, because the networking that can happen, the encouragement that you will receive, not in the meeting itself, there's going to be preaching, singing, all at praying, all of that kind of stuff too, that you're going to be encouraged by. But man, the conversations on escalators, elevators, coffee tables, in the hallway, in the exhibit hall, when you meet fellow pastors and get to share some of this stuff that we shared. Hey, we're doing this baby closet where people can come and pick up a baby for free. I'm just kidding. Diapers, whatever it might be. We're doing a food pantry. How's that working for you? We tried one. It was really hard. You can share those things and bounce those ideas off of what's working in your context, and maybe things that you can get an idea to take back to your own. Because obviously, the encouragement that you can receive from the pastors conference this year has like 100 sermons. Last year, I thought we had a lot. This year, we have a lot, and so Daniel was like, "Hold my non-alcoholic beer," and we're going to do 100 sermons. It's going to be great, and so looking forward to hearing those. And so you get the encouragement there, the conversations that happen all along the way. That even for introverts like me, like, hey, go back to the hotel, refresh, take a nap, and go back out and be with people. You will be bettered by it. But then when it comes to the actual meeting, Kyle, what are you looking forward to with an eye towards this kind of here, there, everywhere type thing?
Yeah, I mean, so one of the highlights, obviously, is the IMB sending service, which happens this year. It's happening on Tuesday morning, so I mean, very early in the program. And I believe, if I remember the number right, we're going to be commissioning 92 international missionaries, which is by far the largest I can remember at an annual meeting. Um, and I mean, so that means two things, right? You need to go to the restroom before that starts, because you're going to be there for a little bit. But you want to be in the room. If you're going to be in New Orleans, you want to be in the room when that commissioning service happens. If you're not able to make it to New Orleans, all of the meeting will be streamed online. I would really encourage you to tune in for that. There are other key things that you need to tune in for as well if you're able, but especially that one. And we've talked about this in previous years, but there's always several of the missionaries who are going out whose faces have to be hidden, because they're going into such secure locations that they just their identity cannot be made known. And so that's always a stark reminder that even in 2023 there are places where I mean, folks literally are laying their lives on the line to go and share the gospel. We get to partner with them. We support in that through the cooperative program, through the Lottie Moon Christmas offering, and then being a part of their sending celebration. That's the big thing. The motions and resolutions is always just a fun time, because it's one of those things you just never know what somebody's going to get up to a microphone and say. And in previous years, you and I kind of camp out in front of a microphone, and you may have more FaceTime. Maybe apart from the president himself, you may have more FaceTime at the last several annual meetings than any other single person, just because you're kept in front of a microphone. And then the exhibit hall, all the swag, baby.
Yeah.
Free swag.
Tip, bring, if you're flying or driving, just go ahead and double up your suitcase. Like,
Yep.
when you're going, just stuff maybe the travel one inside of a regular one, because you're going to need the travel one, if not more than that, to get the rest of all of the swag and all of that good stuff. And make sure you go to Guidestone. In previous years, you could get that free health screening. I assume that's kind of their thing. So you probably will be able to do that again, but don't hold that against me or them if they don't. But I can almost with like 99.99999% certainty tell you that you can get the greatest highlighter you have ever received in your life from them.
Yes, absolutely.
And so anyway, we recommend you doing that. The other thing, that we didn't mention is, Kyle talked about the motions and resolutions. That's just fun. You just never know who's going to get to the mic. And but man, the entity reports is the other place where you get to see the whole here, there, and everywhere. When Lifeway is up there talking about, the camps and the curriculum and what they are doing, when NAM is there talking about the church planting and so forth. We recently celebrated 10,000 church plants, and which is an incredible number. And then, of course, you mentioned the IMB sending celebration and their reports and so forth. The seminary reports, that all of that is also a place where some accountability comes in. Bart talked about, he has staff, and there are questions that he will ask the staff for accountability and making sure that we're doing what we're supposed to be doing. And they have trustees that help with that, and their trustee boards and so forth. But this is also the chance where literally anybody, including Dr. Kyle, non-alcoholic beerman, can stand up in front of the mic and attempt to ask a question. Whether they're successful or not, whether it's out of order or not, we don't know. But anybody that
It's out of order.
presses that button in order has the chance to be able to do that, and so it's a great chance for there to be some accountability, some opportunity to highlight those things that maybe you have a question about, that maybe your people have asked you as the pastor, hey, why are we doing this? If this, like, go and ask, and so it's a great chance where it is really truly equal opportunity to get there and also miss out, right? There's some heartburn that always happens because not everybody can get to the mic, in the sense of there's limited time. We would be there for a month. And while Bart would love that, I would not. And, my face doesn't need to be in front of that mic or in front of that camera that long, because that resting Baptist face will show up really quick. But it is a great chance for us to see and celebrate the here, there, and everywhere. What you're already doing in your churches, keep doing that, but come be a part of it, because as we don't say, but we repeat, decisions are made by
Those in the room.
Those who show up. And so you got to be there. And if you can't, by all means, tune in towards the beginning. You'll get to watch the IMB sending celebration. There's all the meals that happen throughout the IMB dinner. That sounds like a winner. I think you said the NAM lunch, usually the Lifeway breakfast. There's alumni lunches. There's the different kind of affinity groups, the different networks and so forth that have their things. There's usually like a 9 Marks at 9 o'clock, which is 30 minutes past my bedtime, so I usually don't go to that.
Or sometimes it becomes 10 or 11 o'clock, depending on how late
and so there's all these sorts of things. And so we would love for you to be there and look for how you can increase all of these things in your own local church. So, like, what can I do to advance the kingdom here in my town, so that my church is making a difference here? What can I do through my church with the cooperative program? Maybe that is taking it from 5% to 6%, or from 10% to 11%, right? Just your local association. If it's doing those sorts of things, give there, be involved there, be a committed Southern Baptist. And so that's our encouragement today. And we hope to see you in New Orleans. If you see Kyle, there's going to be thousands of people there. So you'll have to look down through the crowd, and you may be able to see his shiny head, and look up a little bit with my Air Force Ones, 2 inches a little bit higher than I normally am. My shiny head will be there as well. Not as long of a beard anymore, but I will be there, and we look forward to seeing you then. But until next time, what should we do?
Until next time, may your coffee be as black as night and as bold as the gospel you declare.
What's wrong with you people?